Good morning. How are you? How was your week? It's a little bit of a crazy week. Every week's a little bit of a crazy week. But this week is Holy Week, so there's a lot of stuff going on this week. And on Sunday, we talked about Palm Sunday, when Jesus came into Jerusalem. And last week I talked about hope. We need to have hope. And so you can see behind me what we're going to be doing on Sunday. And you can see the basis of the hope that we have. The stone is rolled away from the tomb. Here's the thing. Hope is not easily gotten, because there's all kinds of stuff that happens in your life makes you lose hope. God wants you to have hope. We talked about that last week. He wants you to have hope. He wants me to have hope. It's hard to have hope when bad things happen. But then you think about what happened on Friday and then what happened on Sunday. So Jesus went into town. He had dinner with his family and the disciples that were like his family. And he got arrested. He got sentenced, and he got put on a cross. Right there in the middle, you could see it. And then he died. So Jesus is in the tomb, Matthew 27:57 through 61. That evening, the evening of Friday, a rich man named Joseph came to Jerusalem. He was a follower of Jesus from the town of Arimathea. And Joseph went to Pilate and asked to have Jesus' body. So Pilate gave orders for the soldiers to give it to Joseph. And then Joseph took the body and wrapped it in a clean linen cloth. He put Jesus' body in a new tomb that he had cut in a wall of rock. He rolled a very large stone to block the entrance of the tomb. And then Joseph went away. The day after the Sabbath day, Mark 16, starting with verse 1, Mary Magdalene, Mary the mother of James and Salome, brought some sweet-smelling spices to put on Jesus' body. Very early on that day, the first day of the week, the women were on their way to the tomb. It was soon after sunrise, and they said, "There's a large stone covering the entrance of the tomb. Who will move the stone for us?" And then they looked, and they saw the stone was already moved. It was very large, but it was moved away from the entrance. The women entered the tomb and saw a young man wearing a white robe. He was sitting on the right side, and the women were afraid, but the man said, "Don't be afraid. You are looking for Jesus from Nazareth, the one who was killed on a cross. He has risen from death. He is not here. The stone got taken away from the tomb." And there's a lot of verses about that. You can see them. The stone got taken away from the entrance to the tomb, and Jesus rose. He wasn't dead anymore. That's our hope. Our hope that the loved ones that we have, that ourselves, that we would be able to do the same thing. After we die, to go live in heaven. And sometimes that hope is strong. And sometimes that hope is so, so weak. We're so scared. We're remembering Call this week. It's her birthday on Saturday, and we're remembering her. We're going to We're going to emulate her and do what she would have wanted us to do and bring donations to that Ronald McDonald House in New Brunswick. And then we're going to celebrate her birthday in her favorite restaurant. But she's not here. But maybe she's in heaven. And sometimes I go back and forth on it. But sometimes what happens is I start to talk about it. And then people give me their experiences. Like Kenny's experience when he was having the surgery on his heart. And then felt the people praying for him. The people who have died for a minute and come back and say how beautiful it was during the time that they were not technically alive. Kenny's Aunt Millie, who died for a second, and they brought her back, and she was so mad. She said, no, I want to be there. I want to be where I was. My friend who has connections with the people that have gone ahead of us. And then we talk about it, and then the phone rings, and it's the person I'm talking about who told me that she had a connection with those who have left. So here's the thing. There's so much fear surrounding death, especially when it's someone you love. Sometimes you can handle the idea of dying yourself, but to lose somebody that you're so close to, there's so much fear there. And God knows it, because He did it. He sent His Son to do this, and He knows it. He knows that fear. But He also knows the hope that comes. And He sent that to us, right? He sent us the hope that, yeah, your body will die, but you live on. The essence of who you are, the love that you are, that lives on. I don't always know. But I'm standing here in front of a tomb with a huge stone that was rolled away because he was no longer dead. He was alive, going to live with his Father in heaven. And so, that's where Carl is. In heaven with the Father and Jesus and Elizabeth and my grandparents and Kenny's mom and dad and her Aunt Katie and Grandma Terry. She's there. And they're all taking care of her, and she's taking care of the babies. And she's watching over her family here. So we're going to go with that. Because otherwise the story doesn't make sense. It only makes sense if I believe it. And I'm standing right here. And God is sending me all this information from people who have experienced it. Whatever you feel, and I get that. Totally get that. But that can change. And slowly, little tiny bit by little tiny bit, I'm changing. And it's helping me get through. And it'll help me get through her birthday. I found a song. Dancing in the Sky by Danny and Lizzie. Tell me, what does it look like in heaven? Is it peaceful? Is it free, like they say? Does the sun shine bright forever? Have your fears and your pain gone away? Because here on earth it feels like everything good is missing since you left. And here on earth everything's different. There's an emptiness. Oh, I hope you're dancing in the sky, and I hope you're singing in the angels' choir.
And I hope the angels know what they have. I'll bet it's so nice up in heaven since you arrived. So tell me, what do you do in heaven? Are your days filled with love and light? Is there music? Is there art and adventure? Are you happy? Are you more alive? And I hope you're dancing in the sky, and I hope you're singing in the angels' choir, and I hope the angels know what they have. I'll bet it's so nice up in heaven since you arrived. Colleen had such a personality, she was life itself. You knew where you stood with her. And she knew that she had a job to do while she was here. And she did it. Love other people. Oh my God, she took that and ran with it. She helped those children along with her sorority sisters at that Ronald McDonald House, which God bless them. They take care of those families that are going through what we went through. She took care of children who didn't have an advocate for them because their parents, not all of them knew how to do that. And she helped them. She took care of her own baby and her best friends, and obviously had an impact on so many people. And she's still doing it. And that's what we're going to celebrate on Saturday. She's still doing it by teaching us. She's teaching us the way other people have taught others. To be able to take care of other people, especially the children. To be able to love others. And to be there for them. So I am grateful that I had her for those 31 years. I wish I'd had her for longer. But she's up there, and maybe, hopefully, I'll be up there with her one day. So you just think about it and know that I'm getting closer and closer and closer to complete belief that she's where she's at, taking care of things, doing what she needs to do. Because everything I read, whether it's in the Bible or talking to people or outside of the Bible, is pointing me in that direction. I feel kind of blessed that God is not saying you got to believe without proof. He's just trying to lead me to that direction. So this Easter, when you're hunting for eggs or sitting on the Easter Bunny's lap or eating chocolate, remember the reason. The reason is that God sent His Son to help us. And His Son came and did that job. And now He's up in heaven with the people that we love. You remember that. All right. You have a good week. I love you. I miss you a lot. But we'll be together soon.